Hello there. This is Yasmin West, the Reiki accountant. You can find out more about me and the services I provide and what I'm all about at my website, thereikiaccountant.com. That is TheReiki accountant.com. And I also have a donation link there if you choose to support this channel. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about kind of what I do, kind of what I fell into, and just one aspect of the services I provide, and that's mainly the Reiki and Scalar healing sessions which I provide. I'm not going to talk about Reiki today. I might do that in another video. It's for people that are familiar with energy type healing modalities. Reiki's pretty well known, and most people know how it works, but not a lot of people I've noticed know a lot about scalar energy. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, kind of what it is, how it's created, how we can use and incorporate it with our healing practices, and just to heal our bodies. So without further ado, let me kind of go into a little bit about the history and kind of explaining what it is. Back in the 1900s, Nikola Tesla discovered an electromagnetic longitudinal wave which could carry out lossless transmission of energy over vast distances. And this would also pass through solid objects with no loss of power and transport the energy without the need of wires. So this is actually something that's been around for a long time, but not a lot of people knew about it. And so it's kind of starting to be rediscovered now, and being used for a lot of healing modalities. So in the 21st century, we now call this scalar waves, which the energy is instantaneous. They're longitudinal waves that encompass the field. And unlike electromagnetic waves, which are transverse and traveling along an axis in a known direction, scalar energy is actually created when two electromagnetic waves collide together from two opposite directions. And this collision of the wave creates a scalar energy face, which expands out in all different directions. And this energy field, space, whatever you'd like to call it, it's actually alive and with checked and balanced energies. And this field actually contains properties which produce healing when a substance or person or living creature is exposed to this energy field. So scalar waves also offer a feature which Nikola Tesla never discussed, and in his patents, which he actually did file a patent for this. And that's that they have the ability to carry information within them. So this is pretty powerful, because what this means is that it allows you to carry the information, the energetic blueprint for a substance, such as a supplement, essential oil, herbs, stones, and all that has its own energetic frequency that can add and be added to the informational field for additional healing effects. So that's kind of what on this slide here, this is the equipment I actually use, is a Spooky 2 scalar healing device, and it's pretty easy to set up. And as you can see from the picture, it's just basically two suitcases that the person can sit between. And my husband and I actually use this ourselves when we go to sleep at night. And I also have the ability to, through another procedure, I can actually treat people remotely as well, and have done quite successfully, I might add. So that is kind of what it looks like and what scalar energy is. And kind of if you're not familiar with energetic healing, we kind of have to understand how scalar energy can be applied to it. We kind of have to have a basic understanding of how diseases develop from the energetic mindset. So throughout our bodies, we actually have a network of energy channels which circulate from the top of our head and down to the bottom of our toes. And this energy system is responsible for making us feel healthy and energized. And I'm not just talking about this on just a physical level, but also on an emotional level, mental and spiritual level. You might have heard the term chi, prana, life force, and that's basically what this energy is. It's the driving life force of all of our body down to the last cell and atom. So something that most energy healers accept is that they believe that one of the root causes of disease is a blockage in our energetic pathways or our chakras. And when there is a blockage, the local metabolism slows down and the body structure becomes less energetic. It's less capable of removing chemical waste, causing further buildup of toxins in that same area. And this vicious cycle will repeat. Once the local energy level falls below a critical threshold, the onset of a chronic illness is quite near. And that's basically the philosophy of energetic healing, that it starts at a very subtle level. And if we're able to correct that at that level, then we would never get sick. But if we allow it to continue to build up and the situation is not corrected, the condition will worsen over time and bring in illness. So to kind of demonstrate this, I have a picture here, and imagine a river flowing freely, and after a storm, a tree falls into the river, obstructing the water flow, and over time, silt and leaves are collected by the fallen tree, further compounding the obstruction. And if the tree isn't removed, the block will continue to reduce flow, and eventually it'll become completely blocked. So some of the factors that can contribute to this, and most of these things we're aware of. Processed foods contain a lot of toxic food ingredients. And also just even fresh vegetables, if they're not grown organically, will contain pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, stabilizers, preservatives, colorings. All these are toxic food ingredients and requires additional strain on our bodies to process them out. Toxic ingredients in the air pollutants such as industrial and agricultural pollution, that also is a factor to contribute to disease. And toxins in our household products like household cleaners and car care products and things like that. Something that's starting to become a little bit well known are toxins we get from electromagnetic pollution. So this would be the frequencies coming off your mobile phones, your radio, your TV, internet, all the wireless connections. It can't be seen, but it is a pollutant and it does have an effect on your body and puts additional strain on your body to eliminate that toxin out. And something you know, you don't really talk about it as much, but emotional pollution. So this would be your relationships, your social, your friends and family, business colleagues. There's been quite a few studies out there on how emotions cause an incredible amount of impact on our well-being. And I'm not just talking about our mental health, but if you are in a stress state from an emotional problem over a long period of time, that absolutely will affect your physical body. This is something I actually experienced personally very young in my early 20s after a horrible breakup. And that 1 year later of being under constant stress, I got very ill. And so I know firsthand how that can affect a person. And then just viruses, bacteria, parasites in our environment. This clearly can affect us. Genetically modified things like caused by pollutants or modified organisms. And also medications. This isn't something that's really shared by the Western medical world, but they contain quite a bit of toxins in them and absolutely will contribute to disease or can contribute to disease. So, excuse my dark humor here, but, this, all these little things, I mean, just one or two of them, they aren't a big deal. Our body can handle them. But, you start to add them up and you kind of have this situation where, she starts to blow the little, the geyser here. So, this is something we need to be cognizant of. We need to work to eliminate these toxins out of our bodies on a regular basis, and scalar energy is one of those things that can help us out. So, kind of to discuss a little bit about how I use scalar energy in my practice. So, I've been practicing Reiki for a while now, and I like to incorporate the Reiki energy with the scalar energy. And I've done Reiki energy healing sessions remotely very successfully numerous times. And through the use of my Reiki, I'm able to connect and also treat people with scalar energy as well, remotely. But as you can see from the picture here, it doesn't have to be done remotely. And you'll see John White. He is the creator of Spooky 2. And there he is showing you and demonstrating how he's sitting between the two scalar units. So it has an input and a receiver. And he's demonstrating pure scalar mode. So this is just the pure scalar field, and it's the easiest way to apply healing because nothing special needs to be done. So you basically just tune the equipment, and then you sit or you lie between the transmitter and the receiver, and then the pure scalar energy just flows between the two units there. And if you wanted to add like what I was talking about earlier in the presentation, where I was talking about how this energy field, frequency wave, actually has the capability to carry information. This is what they would call the molecular scalar mode. And so what you would do with that is on one of those cases there, you would put whatever healing enhanced, you want to enhance your healing by placing a substance on the receiver coil. And what that does is that, say you have somebody with like asthma or something, and you have an essential oil such as eucalyptus or peppermint, which would be beneficial for someone with that condition. You would simply put a bottle of that on the receiver coil, and the molecules within the sample would change the signal between the lids. They call it modulation. You would receive the curative effects of the chemical or the substance. And this can be anything, like I said, essential oils, vitamins, supplements, herbs. If you use any sort of healing stones, that can also be used. And so this is kind of how I run my practice, where whoever would like a session from me, I don't, if they want to volunteer information, that's fine. I tend to work more intuitively. So if they have a condition, I will, and I have a good knowledge on essential oils and stones, but I'll just, go with whatever comes to mind, and then I'll look up and I'll research and make sure that that would be a good thing for their condition. And I will add that to the receiver coil and bring in my master Reiki to connect with them if it's a remote session. If it's an in-person session, they're right there, lying between my 2 units, and they will receive the scalar energy enhanced with whatever I add into that input coil, whatever essential oil or stone or supplement I add to that coil. And then on top of that, I'm layering in my normal Reiki session as well. So the scalar energy and Reiki, I feel, pair quite well together, because scalar, there's never any risk of sometimes with Rife technology, you can come across a healing crisis if you receive frequency overload. But the scalar energy is very much more gentle, because the body absorbs what it needs and no more. And Reiki is the same way. Everyone's always free to accept or reject the energy, and the body knows what it needs. It's intelligent. The Reiki energy is intelligent and goes to where it's needed most. And so I feel like this is a good pairing of energies, and that is how I run my practice. That's a little bit about scalar energy. There hasn't been a lot of information out on the web about it, but it's growing in popularity, so I would encourage you to definitely research it if you find that you're interested. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation and become a little bit more informed, and take care now. Bye-bye.